Negotiations are a necessary part of life in modern society. If you're a person who hates the negotiating process, I try to have as fair a pricing model as possible. You can walk in here, buy a car, and not feel like you paid too much. That said, if you want to buy a vehicle from my store or any dealership with the intention of getting a discount, here are some tips. 1. Show up in person. Your presence is your leverage. Experience has taught me that the person texting with an offer 98% of the time isn't going to show up or follow through. If I know I have a real opportunity to sell a car right now to someone who is ready to drive away with it, I'm going to take that far more seriously and do the best I can to make a deal. 2. Decide what you are willing to pay. The seller will either say, sorry, my price is non-negotiable, or they will counteroffer with a figure somewhere between your offer and their asking price. You can either A, choose to accept, or make a counteroffer, or B, say, I'm sorry, what I offered is all I can pay. If it doesn't work, then I'll be on my way. Rinse and repeat. That's it. Some dealers will draw this process out as much as possible in order to wear you down. If you feel like this is what's going on and you don't have the patience for it, get out of there. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's people who complain about the buying process while buying from dealers who make the buying process miserable. 3. We know what the car books for, and sometimes it's wildly high or wildly low. Use real market data to support your offer. Find the same make, model, year, and mileage vehicle in the area. This is what really matters to us. If you're willing to sell the car for $500 less than what the dealer 20 minutes away is advertising theirs for, I will buy it today. It's as simple as that. 4. Don't act tough. Don't be a know-it-all. Be nice and be yourself. I don't know how many times I've given discounts to people simply because they were genuinely nice, reasonable people that I genuinely liked. And not over the top fake nice. Over the top nice tends to flip to full on Karen real quick. Acting tough or difficult in any way honestly disincentivizes us to sell you a car for multiple reasons. Why would we want to give someone a deal who we don't like? Once we sell a car to somebody, the show is not over. They will be impatient about getting DMV documents. They will make us very aware of any disappointment they have. If they come back to our service department when the vehicle needs maintenance, why would I want customers that are going to put a damper on my employee's day with their bad attitudes? Generally speaking, annoying people get no discount whatsoever. If we have to deal with your negativity, in the very least, we will try to make it worth our while. 5. Don't ask us to negotiate with ourselves. In my opinion, asking, what is your lowest price, is frankly a lazy and disrespectful way to negotiate. I have already taken time and effort to price the vehicle to market. Now it is up to the market to decide what it's worth. If we get tons of calls on it and it sells in a few days for the ad price, then it's for sure worth at least what we sold it for. If I get no phone leads on a particular unit, the price is probably the problem. What I'm trying to say is I don't get to decide what cars are worth. So how the hell would I know what my lowest price is? If I say my lowest price is $14,000 and the dealer next door says no problem, I'll beat that by $300. Well, maybe if I had known that the dealer was $300 cheaper, I would have offered a lower price. So maybe I should say my lowest price is this, but if the other dealer is cheaper, then I'll beat it. But then the number I gave you isn't my lowest price, is it? You see how stupid this is? I know some people are gonna say, at such and such dealership, the price on the car is ridiculously over market, and I just want to know what they're really willing to sell it for without going through the miserable process of negotiating back and forth for several hours. My honest opinion is that if you are finding yourself in that situation, don't shop at the place with overpriced inventory and a miserably elongated negotiation process. Shop instead at Cascadia Motors, where if cars could talk, they would say nice things about us. Ding! Here's the next negotiation style that I think is ineffective. I call it sad story. For some reason, the people that try to use this tactic are usually trying to buy higher end vehicles. If you come in on a Range Rover and your reason for asking for a discount is I'm a single mom just trying to get by, we're going to tell you that you should absolutely not buy a Land Rover. If you're on a $5,000 Ford Focus, then maybe we'd buy it. 7, occasionally someone will say, hey, just show me your cost, make $1,000 off of me, and I'll be on my way. I understand the thinking behind this, but it doesn't make sense. There's an old saying in the car business that all the profit is in the buy, meaning the car is worth what it's worth on the retail market. I don't have much control over what the market is doing and what customers are willing to pay. The variable I can control is what vehicles I have in stock and what I'm willing to pay for those vehicles. So if I get lucky and absolutely steal a car at auction, which is not often by the way, let's say I'm pretty sure there's $4,000 profit in the vehicle. Settling for a $2,000 profit just because we want to be nice would be stupid for two reasons. One, I'm leaving money on the table that I will very much regret when I'm having a bad month or even a bad year. Two, much more importantly, there are vehicles that we lose money on a somewhat regular basis. It is normal, and the only reason we can stay in business in spite of these losses is because we usually have a car or two per month that make up for these losses. If you buy one of these vehicles that I happen to steal and make a lot of money on, that does not make you a sucker. You just happen to buy a car that we got lucky on. That's all there is to it. 8, don't bring your kids. I don't know how many times I've watched people's children blow the negotiating process for them. If your kids are very little or just poorly behaved, you will not be able to focus on the subject at hand the way you should be. And the likelihood of you deciding, okay, whatever, I'm just going to accept these terms because I want to get out of here so I don't have to police my monsters anymore, goes up very significantly. The other thing I see happen is the kids love the new car and literally pressure their parents to buy. Best case scenario, they are very well behaved and require some tending that takes away a small amount of your focus. Lastly, if your kids have ridiculous names, I will judge you and weigh it against you as a factor if you want to negotiate a deal. A long time ago, I had a couple come in with 2 kids. I could tell they were pretentious douchebags when I talked to them on the phone. But when I met them in person, without me even asking, they sanctimoniously announced their children's names were Liberty and Justice. And just like that, any chance of getting a discount immediately flew out the window.